YouTube, what's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another video, guys. And today's video is going to be on my top 5 wide receivers going into your fantasy football 2021 season. Yes, I said it. My top 5 wide receivers going into next year 2021 season. So, guys, my homeboy Mac is going to start this one out. And, guys, homeboy, just give me your top 5 receivers, bro.
All right. So look, this is not really like your prototypical. Because I got a few caveats in here.
Okay.
And like I said, it's just going to be dependent upon a lot of moves, and it's still early.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things could happen in the off season and stuff like that. But for me, my top 5 people that I'm targeting, wide receivers, I'm going to start with number 5. That's Stephon Diggs. And I want to put a slash in here. I want to say Stephon Diggs / DK Metcalf. Okay? And the reason being is because if Russell does stay in Seattle, I love Metcalf this year. The targets and the volume and everything like that, and the cohesiveness, that they shown, man, it's going to be something special for years to come. So I really hope that he stays. But let's just say if he goes, Stephon Diggs, man, he showed me last year what Josh really needed. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. He can run. He's dual threat, I should say. But Stephon Diggs, he opens up the whole field.
Okay.
When they get smoked back too, and then you still, you got my boy, gosh, I can't think of his name now. He used to play for y'all.
The Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, slot.
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley. You get Cole Beasley, healthy, and him playing. I mean, that offense is going to be nice. I don't really know what they're going to do running back wise, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, because really Josh Allen's the running back.
Yes,
to be honest.
I agree with that.
But Stephon Diggs, man, you can get him probably still later in drafts this year. It just depends on your league mates. But I'd say maybe like 3rd, 4th round, he probably still gonna be there, and he can give you tier 1 numbers.
Okay.
On a consistent basis. So he's at my number 5.
Okay.
Number 4 is gonna throw a lot of people for a loop, and that's Chase Claypool. Man, I see big things for Chase Claypool.
I'm not looped.
I know you're not, because we talked about this a lot in the offseason,
and that
too.
was your guy, man. I got to give you that.
Well, I appreciate that,
man. You talked about him being like a Randy Moss type, and I got to give you that, man. You was ahead of me on that one.
Hey, I appreciate that. But, hey, like I said, all the film study and stuff that I did on Chase, it came to fruition this year. And by them bringing Big Ben back, that's what, as of today, that's what the plan is. They bring Big Ben back. Claypool is gonna eat. He's gonna get peppered with targets. So I love Chase Claypool, and he's another one that you can get later in your draft. Number 3, I'm going with your boy Tyreek Hill, man. He showed me a lot this year, and I had to give you some kudos today. Even though I know we're probably gonna have some back and forth about this particular subject and the ranking, but Tyreek Hill, man, his route running is vastly improved. He's in my opinion has moved from the genre of quote unquote gadget player in a sense.
Don't disrespect him again.
Yeah, well, but
don't never disrespect him.
We'll get into that. You know what I'm saying? But he showed me a lot this year, and I can't see him divulging from anything other than what happened this year. Him and Kelsey gonna combat for targets, but I think Tyreek Hill, he's still gonna probably do a repeat performance of last year, but he's not gonna be better than my number 2 guy, which is Michael Thomas. And I'm gonna use your word. Yes, I said it. Michael Thomas. Okay, so I know there's a lot of question about what's going on, in New Orleans. But I'm big on Taysom. I love Taysom Hill. I think Taysom Hill has the potential to be a top-tier quarterback. He's shown it, especially in college. A lot of people want to give him flack because he's been using that gadget role as a quarterback.
That's true.
But you give the man sufficient time under center and give him, give him the keys to the city, basically. And watch what happens. And when he played, and when Michael Thomas played those few games, he targeted Mike. So that kind of gives you a prelude to what's going to happen.
Okay.
But regardless, and man, even though I'm not real high on Jameis, but we know what Jameis is. If Jameis Winston is given the keys, then Michael Thomas is still gonna, look what he did with Mike Evans. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Mike Thomas, in my opinion, is 10 times better than Mike Evans.
I think he's better.
Head and shoulders. So Mike Thomas is my number 2 guy, and number 1, numero uno, Davante Adams. Davante Adams. So here's the thing, and we'll get more into some of the other caveats why I think Davante is going to be number 1 with some of the other attributes in Green Bay. But you look at back like 2014, when Green Bay had Jordy Nelson, Eddie Lacy, Aaron Rodgers, all of them finished within the top 3 in fantasy in each of their individual categories. And that's simply because they had a lead dog. And they got that in A.J. Dillon, which we'll get more into that as we talk later on. But now when they got a prototypical north-south, let's just say bell cow running back with their play action, RPO, Davante Adams is going to be stupid this year.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So the numbers that we saw from him in 2020, man, he could have 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. That's his ceiling. His floor is like 1,300.
Okay.
That's the floor, and that's still gonna put him in the top 3. So that's my top 5. I ain't gonna go too much in there because I know I want to give you space and floor for yours.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. I like your list. I really do. I respect your list. I think receivers, man. I think we doing tomato because there's so many good ones out there.
Right.
And so I'm just gonna start with my number 5. My number 5 is one of your guys. Is Chase Claypool.
Okay.
I like his potential, and I do believe he do have a chance to be similar to Randy Moss, and I don't use that very lightly. I said what I said. I don't use that very lightly because Randy Moss is, to me, is the number 1 receiver of all time, even over Jerry. But I'm not gonna get off on that. So yeah, Chase Claypool. So I'm gonna get on to my number 4. My number 4 guy is Tyreek Hill. And I know he might think, wow, you putting Tyreek at number 4? Yes, I am. I am putting Tyreek at number 4. And the reason why is because they need to show me something better than what they did in the Super Bowl. I feel like that game plan that they did to triple team Tyreek is what everybody's going to do now. And Pat Mahomes is going to have to learn how to play like Tom to do check down receivers. Because if not, then Tyreek games, they're going to take Tyreek away every game and make Travis Kelce beat him with 200 yards. If he can do that, I don't believe he's going to be able to beat every team like they did last year with 200 yards. So Tyreek Hill, they're going to have to use him in different ways this year. And mostly, I think his rushing yards should go up. Yeah, he's getting a little older in the age, so you might not give him as much as you would maybe 2 years ago, but you have to use him in the run game. Because I think it balances out that offense, or they might draft a running back, but who knows? So let me move on. My number 3 guy, and this guy's a beast. He's a mixture of David Boston and Steve Smith, and it's A.J. Brown. Yes, I said A.J. Brown.
Okay.
A.J. Brown, new brother in town. But I did a video on him, so check him out. But he's like a running back, and he's the best probably receiver that I ever seen in my life. I said what I said. So let me get on to my number 2 guy. This other guy, I gave him a hard time, but I always knew he was a great route runner. And just because of the situation this year, I think he's going to eat. He could be the number 1 receiver, but I got him number 2, and that's Calvin Ridley. And, Julio's getting a little long in the tooth. And Calvin Ridley, they still going to put the number 1 corner on Julio. So what is that? That's going to be Calvin Ridley in the slot and on the outside, working against the number 3 and number 2 corner. And with that, I feel like he should have over 140, 150 targets easy this year. And so I like Calvin Ridley this year because he's just not going to be guarded by the number 1 receiver as long as Julio stays healthy. And I think they'll take Julio volume down a little bit just to keep him out there on the field. They'll use him as a decoy and also as a big play threat. So let me get on to my number 1 guy, and that's Keenan Allen. So I know my list is different, but I'm just going off. Mostly it's PPR. I'm talking PPR, but I like these receivers overall. And it's because he's going to be a target monster. I'm not going to pick a guy that's getting 15 targets a game. 13 catches, 11 catches, 12 catches. That's 11, 12 points right there. Then not talking about the touchdowns or the yards. So, so I love Keenan Allen. I think he's going to be a target monster, and those are my top 5 guys. So, tell you why you didn't. I don't see why you didn't have Keenan Allen on your squad, and also, man, Tyreek Hill. I think he is going to fall back this year, even though I think he's the best receiver in the league.
Right.
But it's not always about that. See, that's what people. Your favorite doesn't mean greatness.
True.
the best weapon doesn't always finish as the top guy. Jerry Rice didn't finish as the number 1 receiver every single year, but he was the best when he was doing it. So I do think Tyreek will take a fall back, and other receivers will have a better fantasy season than him.
Yeah. I mean, and I have to, you floored me with the Tyreek Hill thing, and I get what you're saying. I don't know. I can't really, barring injury, I can't really see them, or see him, I should say, deteriorating like that. And I hate to use that term, but in that sense, because he is an elite receiver. Again, in my opinion, he's not above Michael Thomas, or Devontae in my hierarchy. But Tyreek Hill, man, he's still okay. And we're talking about the Super Bowl. You know, Todd Bowles, we got to give him mad credit.
Copycat lead.
That's true. But Big Red is not going to sit there, even though we're going to give him a little flack in a sense, you know, him and Bieniemy as far as the game plan that they, you know, attributed. But I cannot see them repeating that same mistake. So when defenses are evolving and they're trying to copycat, like you said, they're going to have to do certain things to keep evolving as well. And man, it's just like I said, Travis Kelce for me is the key in that whole offense. So he is gonna help soften the deal a little bit for Tyreek. And Tyreek brings something, man, that nobody else on either of our lists can't even come close to. And I don't like to belittle his speed, you know, saying, okay, that's just why he's great. But come on. You got to give this man his credit. That's a God-given talent. You can't develop speed. I mean, yeah, you can kind of people can work on it to get faster, but he born with that. Like he probably came out the womb and he was gone. You feel what I'm saying? He just got it's a gift from God, man. I mean, that's something. So when you add that along with his route running ability that he has, you know, worked on. I'm not saying he's as good as Michael Thomas or Devontae Adams or even your number one, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, I had to give you that. He is a superb route runner. But Tyreek Hill is starting to gain traction when it comes to that. So, yeah, I don't know. I really can't see him at number 4. I just can't see that unless he has an injury, in my opinion.
I just seen, okay, so I know Tyreek Hill is one of my favorite players in the NFL, and I know if I'm playing against Tyreek Hill, I'm doing what Todd Bowles doing. I'm triple teaming him, and you're never getting deep. I don't care. You're never going to get a deep pass. I would tell my corner, I don't care if he got 18 catches. Do not let that boy get behind you. And if you can keep him in front of him, we can run and tackle him. So I just believe that's going to be the game plan. So they're going to have to do something else or make another player step up for Tyreek to get one-on-one coverage again to be able to lift the defense up and give and be explosive like he is. So I think it's going to be more in like gadget plays. Don't mean he's gadgety, but it's going to be like him jet sweeps, toss. They're going to use that a little bit more. That way when you try to double and triple team him, you triple teaming a running back. And what did that mean? That's Travis Kelce one-on-one. That's McCole Hardman. That's whoever did they bring in. They thinking about bringing in Odell Beckham. They said some other receivers. Because I seen in that Super Bowl where they needed a number 2 receiver, number 2 receiver that they could target 10 or 12 times. And I always said that Sammy Watkins was a good player, but he's not that player right now. McCole Hardman is not that. McCole Hardman is like a Ted Ginn. He's not a great route runner, but he's fast. So that's why I believe Tyreek could take a backdrop, but not like in his talent. It's just the way the offense is all about the offensive coordinators with me and how you're going to implement. That's why if I had the number 1, Keenan Allen is not the best receiver in the game. But for his fantasy points, and far as like you winning and getting the best receiver, he is. So that's how I do my top 5. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Good Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. I'm going to keep giving you cutting-edge information. Also, guys, be ready for the Patreon. I got all kind of things that's going to be going on in my Patreon, guys. I'm going to be getting my brother Matt to help me out with that. And also, guys, I got a draft guide coming. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Good Sports. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.